Access granted.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Calling It Podcast. I'm Justntime and I'm here with
Colton.
And Mark Edaba.
And we're so excited to be back. We thank you so much for your patience. We just had some personal family issues that happened and we had to take some time off, but we're glad to be back and we're going to go in with our heads held high and we're going to do so much and help hopefully you guys, stick around and listen. So today's podcast, we're going to be talking about Marvel, the stuff that happened this week. So it's Marvel's new game that's coming out with Captain America and Black Panther. We have some new TV shows that came out for Marvel. We also have some movie trailers that came out and a bunch of other little things that have happened that we're going to go through so you can be updated on everything that's going on in the entertainment industry. So stay tuned and we hope you enjoy. So the first thing we're going to go through is Marvel's 1943 Rise of Hydra, which was shown off at the Unreal Engine conference. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And if you don't know what we're talking about, go look it up after you're done listening to this, or pause, go look it up, come back, don't leave. We love you. It is really kind of insane if what they're saying is the truth. So it's just a little teaser, but they're saying that everything that was shown in this trailer is in-game rendering. So if you don't know what that means, is there's a difference between pre-rendered and in-game. So pre-rendered is like a CGI cutscene that you would see like in a movie or in a trailer, something that was made by animators and just plays. That's not loaded in. It's just like it's like a video clip that plays, right? So in-game rendering is when you're playing a video game. Say we're playing like Spider-Man, and all of a sudden, in the middle of fighting, Spider-Man jumps up and Venom shows up, and they're talking, and then blah blah blah, and they're fighting. Well, that's all rendered in game, so it's happening real time. So like your PS5 is helping, or your computer or whatever is helping render that, and it's like an animation that's happening in real time. So that's what they're saying that these clips are from. They're real time rendering, and that if that's true, it's kind of insanely amazing how they look, because if you pause on some of this, it looks like if it was a screenshot and you said, "Oh, announcing this guy, I forget his name. You guys can help me with that later."
Gary Payton.
Yes, is playing Black Panther, right? Yeah, is playing Black Panther in a new movie. I'd be like, "Holy crap, he looks great!" But it's like it's not. It's in-game rendering, and that's what's so crazy about it is that it looks real. Like we're at that moment where our graphics are starting to kind of like go into a next gen, and it's like, oh my gosh, now I'm feeling like the new generation of graphics are happening, because the PS4 to PS5 generation, like that jump, it was like, oh yeah, it's all kind of the same. Now it's like kind of crazy. Like I feel like
I don't know if
watching
I'd say it was the same, but
well, it wasn't the same, but it was still it wasn't.
You can still tell it was a game.
It wasn't like PS2 to PS3, it was like it was kind of like
you can still tell it was a game,
yeah. This though, like you can tell it's a game, but like if you showed it to, I feel like a random person that doesn't play video games, they would either think it's a real clip or like a CGI movie.
Yeah, it's pretty insane, honestly. I know when Captain America first walked out, I was like, oh, okay, this looks great. And then they turn and show Carrie Payton's face on Black Panther, and for a split second, I was like, oh, is this like? I had a moment where I was like, is this a live action trailer? And I didn't realize it, because it looks absolutely insane. I hope that's really what it looks like in game. Obviously, I think all gamers are kind of jaded by being lied to constantly by these big game developers about different games, but I try to keep optimistic about things, and I hope that it actually looks like that, because like you said, it really feels like we'll be going into a new, it still feels like we just got into next gen with PS5, but realistically it's been 4 years already since it came out. And so it's like now we're seeing these actual huge steps toward another next generation with graphics. And I mean, you see companies studios like Naughty Dog, they're already pushing insanely realistic stuff looking out of their studios. And so like the more we see of that, the crazier it's going to be to like tell the difference. And I mean, eventually it's going to feel weird playing these games because it's going to look like you're just controlling an actual real life human being.
Yeah, I saw the trailer, and I apologize in advance because North Carolina is experiencing the spring. It's not just spring; it's the spring, which it is pollen and everything everywhere, and it is driving my sinuses and my throat wild. So I apologize in advance if I cough or whatever. But the trailer itself looks incredible.
Yeah.
The graphics, like basically the same thing. I was kind of like in denial at first. I was like, "Is this a video game?" It was kind of ridiculous. And there have been a couple more, I guess, maybe not indie games, but some other games that have been circulating out there that the graphics just look insane, and all using the same engine. And it was like, oh wow, this is like this is stuff. This is technology that is being worked on right now and is being utilized. And it's the first time, definitely the first time that we've seen a big AAA title using this new technology. And it's exciting. That's to say the least. It is very exciting. And the gameplay itself actually looks very interesting. Like it looks like a very compelling story. It's obviously Wakanda and the United States fighting Nazis. I mean, that sounds pretty awesome in itself. And then on top of that, it's Captain America, who's a very pro-American guy, and then you have Black Panther, who's a very pro-Wakanda guy, and so there's a little bit of a clash in the trailer, and it's going to be interesting to see it going forward. Like how that relationship will evolve and change, because obviously we know by the end of it they're going to be fighting Nazis together, but it's going to be an interesting game for sure. And I'm uh, calling it right now because I listened to the trailer and they mentioned that the Eye of Horus has been found. And the Eye of Horus in Marvel Comics has big connections with two other superheroes. So I'm thinking at least we're going to see a cameo, maybe not a playable character, maybe a DLC down the future, but at least a cameo of Thor and Moon Knight. Now, Thor, obviously, he's kind of like a timeless character. You can kind of throw him in at any point in time in the Marvel cinematic, not cinematic universe, in the Marvel timeline. Um, but then on top of that, you have Moon Knight, who can be donned by different personas and different people, kind of like the Black Panther mantle. So you can have definitely have these two characters in there. So I'm calling it that they're at least going to show up for a cameo because of the nature of the artifact that is being hunted down. Kind of like in a Indiana Jones esque, the Nazis are trying to find lost artifacts with powers. Uh, so it'll be interesting. I'm really looking forward to this game, and it definitely has my trying to figure out what's going on here senses tingling, and it's going to be really cool, I think. And I'm way optimistic that because of the venue now, obviously I've my optimism has hurt me in the past, but my optimism is like through the roof for the specific purpose that it was revealed at a conference at a, I believe, was it the Unreal Engine one, or was it Nvidia? I can't remember. They both had their conferences recently. Um, Either one. The fact that it was revealed at a engine conference has my hopes like through the roof that they're going to come through with it, because it's like, this is showing off the capabilities of their engine. So I personally think that it wouldn't be revealed as this is our capabilities of our engine if it wasn't going to be used in the game. That's my hopeful optimism. That could get me in trouble, but I don't think it will in this particular case. But uh, so I'm excited about that. Does anybody else have any other thoughts on that before we move on?
I'm just excited to get another awesome like narrative-driven Marvel game and superhero game in general. These live service multiplayer games I'm kind of over, and ever since Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, I've been ready for another world to open up with a narrative story. So I'm excited for that. I mean, just like I'm excited for Wolverine whenever we finally get that.
Agreed. I agree completely on that one. And it's kind of funny because like it unfortunately, Sony has been the big pusher on that. So it's interesting to see that other companies are now taking that initiative and being like seeing the success of Spider-Man, and seeing the success of games like um, the Wolverine one that's in the works, and Spider-Man 2 and Miles Morales, all of these other games. So it's interesting, and it's funny because we had uh, I can't remember who made it, but the Avengers game that came out that really flopped, and then they made Guardians of the Galaxy, and since then it's been like I wonder if there's been a little bit of a pause by the other companies to jump on that, because it's like, obviously there's a market for it, obviously there's a want for it from the fans to play good single player games that aren't live service, that aren't going to be uh, something that you have to you continually dump money in to enjoy. Uh,
Yep.
but I think that this may be an open. Obviously, we have a couple of announcements previously that we've already talked about from other games, like the Blade game that's coming out. It seems to be a single player narrative driven. So I think that maybe there may be a little bit of a turn now towards these new uh, ideas and these new story driven games again, which I'm with you on that one. I'm excited about it because honestly, I don't have all of the time and money to just keep dumping into these pay for service games, and it kind of gets exhausting that every game that comes out seems to be trying to be a big uh, cash grab basically. And like, okay, you can enjoy the game, but you got to buy the skins, and you got to buy the DLCs and everything. So I hopefully this is an indicator that the fans want something new and exciting, and uh these great single player or perhaps multiplayer narrative driven games that are going to carry the the fans
Yeah, I
and
mean,
the
I
people.
definitely don't think multiplayer is the problem. I think if I well, I may be misremembering, but I think Guardians of the Galaxy was potentially a co-op game. Maybe
It
not.
was a single player. The Guardians, it
Oh
should
yeah,
have
it
been.
just used the squad. Yeah, you can use
Yeah,
your squad.
it
That's
was
right.
NPC multiplayer in the
Yeah,
sense that
yeah, yeah.
you could only play as Star Lord,
That's right.
and you had
That's right.
your friends you could call in, like
That's
Gamora,
right.
or Drax, or whatever. Which,
That was
by the
great. That
way,
was great
yeah, by the way, that game is a sleeper hit.
So
I will
underrated.
I It's so underrated, and I will die on that hill that game was on par with the at least on par with the first Spider-Man. Well, I'm going to say on par with the Spider-Man narrative games, because the Sony Spider-Man ones, because honestly that game, it definitely peaked. It checked off all of the great Guardians, the Guardians of the Galaxy story, and the characters. It checked off all of the requirements for it to be a great game. And then on top of that, it was like they did their own thing. They didn't try and copy the movies.
That's what
I
I was
love
gonna
that
say.
game.
I like that they didn't really like. I didn't play that being like, oh, okay, this is just the MCU Guardians in game form. Okay, like obviously you can wear the outfits, but it was still obvious by the narrative that they were making their own story with their own versions of those characters.
Yeah, and it showed, and
Yeah,
I thought it was a great. I thought it was great. Anyway, we're talking about the past now, but
yeah.
a little bit more about the present. We have also the
Past
X
and
Men,
present.
the past and present, right? The new X-Men show. I know that Colton and Justin have not seen it yet, and I'm sure they're going to go watch it like right after this podcast, because I'm going to talk it up really good. And they and also everybody else who's listening will definitely watch this, because I know that I'm going to talk it up really good, so that you guys can you know
Dang, if only you got paid
feel
for
my hype.
commission, huh?
I know. Marvel, pay me. No,
Sponsor us.
but the X-Men 97 TV show just came out on Wednesday, and 2 episode premiere. And if you had any affinity for the original 90s X-Men TV show, which is that's supposed to be the sequel to that, if you had any affinity to it whatsoever, if you liked it a little bit, go watch this X-Men 97's TV show on Disney Plus like yesterday. This show captures the essence of what that show was, and it just takes it and runs with it. The animation is fantastic. The story is compelling as all get out, and the characters, everything is back, and you're just like, wow, this show is so good. And obviously, we're not giving any spoilers. I'm not going to do that. We don't do that on this show. And so it's so stinking good. It just like
There's only
I was
2 episodes out, right?
only 2
So
episodes,
far,
and
and
I
it
am
comes out.
hooked.
When do they come
Every
out?
Wednesday.
On
Every Wednesday it comes
okay.
out, and I was sitting there with my Magneto helmet on, and just chilling, watching this show.
It's true.
And
if you want to watch on YouTube, go ahead and look. I'll put a picture of him wearing his Magneto helmet on.
God, please don't.
It's your new contact picture on my phone. Just so
It is for me too.
That's amazing. I'll take it. You know what? I'll take it. It's great. But this show is definitely leading up to be just as great as the original series. The original X-Men 90s was like one of my favorite cartoons growing up. It's just fantastic, just great content. If you're a Marvel fan and X-Men fan, you're gonna love it. I'll tell you that much right now. It's so great. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Does anybody have anything else to add to that?
I saw a clip of it on like before it came out, and it was like a fight scene, and it was really, really, really cool. And I was shocked at how cool it was. I was like, whoa. Like, I don't know why I was like excited about it, but I wasn't like, oh yeah, cool. Like, oh, I'm gonna watch this immediately. I just was like, oh, this is pretty neat. And then I saw that clip, and I was like, holy cow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I saw another clip the other day, and it had to do with Cyclops, and I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck? I was like, maybe I do have to jump and watch this, because it's really, really cool. So I'll add that to my weekly watch things. I got Shogun, I got Bad Batch, now I gotta watch X-Men. So
Yeah, I don't remember much about the show, the original show. I know I watched it. I probably not like, obviously because I was little. I probably didn't watch like a bunch of it. I know my dad had it on something, I forget, because obviously I was born right when it came out, so it's not like I was like, oh my god, as a baby watching it. But I remember I watched a few episodes, and I just know the theme has always stuck with me. That theme is so iconic. I mean, I think even people who don't know Marvel could randomly hear the and be like, wait a minute.
Oh yeah,
I know that.
I think out of all the Marvel like characters, X-Men is like probably the biggest, because of the earlier movies and the cartoons. Like, they were first before the Avengers and all that.
Yeah,
so, like,
I would argue maybe other than Spider-Man, the X-Men might be.
Well, yeah. Spider-Man is the biggest, but
might be some of the most well-known to like a general audience is the X-Men.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Definitely before the Avengers. I think the Avengers kind of changed that a little bit with I think now everybody's like Iron Man, Captain America, but before, nobody knew who they were.
I don't know. Yeah. I still think the X-Men are pretty prevalent. Obviously, those other 100%. Ones have more popularity.
It's kind of died down because of the whole like Fox Disney deal, and they haven't made anything in a long time, and the last couple movies weren't that good. But when it was like the original cast and the first 3 movies, I know those were huge. Those were like like the Harry Potter movies. Yeah, there was like, oh my god, X-Men movies coming out, we have to go see it, and blah blah blah. So it's been a while, but I feel like that hype is going to start building up again, since Marvel Studios has the rights. So not only is this TV show going to be great, but
I think
seeing them in the movies.
I think that's part of the reason they made this show. I think obviously, but I think part of the reason they made this is to I think it will bring a younger crowd in. Just because there's a lot of young people who will eat up anything Marvel, and then also to bring that older crowd back in. I think this is their way of being like, hey guys, here's the X-Men you love, and also just so you know, they're going to be live action in like 5-6 years.
I think it's also them being like, hey, we know a lot of you were worried about us and how we would treat the X-Men, but like, this is us showing a preview of how we would. Like, we're not gonna screw anything up, we're not going to change any characters like everybody thinks we're going to do. Like, we're going to do it. Like, this is it, this is what we're going to do. This is like, we're sticking with this. If we're bringing back the 90s X-Men TV show and it's like great and everyone's having a great time, then you know, the movies are gonna be great. I mean, just in the teaser you saw for Deadpool, you can see Wolverine's wearing his yellow and blue suit, which Fox would never give him. So they're already doing good by the X-Men, so I'm excited.
I know one thing as far as MCU X-Men go. My biggest thing is mercy on whoever they cast as their Wolverine moving forward, because that person is going to get bullied so unrelentlessly for so many unjust reasons, just because Hugh Jackman's too old to do it for another 10 years.
Yeah, that's gonna suck.
And I hope that they know that going in, so that they can expect it and be like, well, I'm just going to prove you all wrong.
And it's really big claws to fill, so
Yeah. Big sideburns to fill.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we're good with X-Men. I think everyone got their thoughts in. Now we're gonna move into a completely different category. Now we're gonna be talking about this, and I'm gonna put a little disclaimer. It's horror category, but it's not horror, people. This is classic 80s movies. So, and they're both getting sequels. One is going to be great. The other one's going to be horrible.
Well, the other one's definitely horror.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The first one you can argue. The second one is 100% horror.
You're not going to get away with that one.
You're right. I actually hate it so much, but I don't really count it as like a horror movie because it's not really like slasher. So, like when you say horror now, people now think, when you say horror, people now think it's like, they say like, oh, slasher, like kids, blood,
when you say
blah
horror
blah blah.
Now, people think A24. They think Hereditary, Midsommar.
Well, you think that. I'm saying general audience. They think Michael Myers.
Audience.
They think Michael Myers. They think Chucky. It's not like that. It's sci-fi horror, which is, I feel like, a completely different category of.
It's a subgenre.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like, so that's what I'm saying. It's not like straight up like you're gonna go in and it's like, evil. No, it's aliens are being scary, and I hate them.
I mean, not to be that guy, but technically a slasher is a subgenre of horror too. So, just saying, it's all horror.
Well, yeah, I would say, I would put it more, well, yeah, it's like an adventure thing. It's not.
It's different.
It's more about the. It's more about the.
There's still
adventure.
people getting brutally murdered in it, so it's horror.
Yeah, it's like there's this great grand story, and it just so happens that people are dying like left and right.
Not Beetlejuice.
All right.
Not Beetlejuice.
Yeah, we've been talking about Beetlejuice the whole time.
The whole time you thought we were talking about.
We're talking about aliens. No, we're talking about Beetlejuice. Speaking of Beetlejuice,
sci-fi horror.
Speaking of Beetlejuice, so the Beetlejuice poster and the Beetlejuice trailer. I know. Thank you. I still only said it twice, right? So we're good.
Just be careful. One of us has to say it again.
No,
Break
I think
chain.
I think it has to be like, like in a row. So I think we're fine because we're saying all.
That's what I mean. One of us has to say it to break the chain.
So the trailer and the poster came out recently, and super. Oh no, not the poster. Oh yeah. There was a new poster, wasn't there? I don't know. Anyways, the trailer came out, and
it was they released still images.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Of Beetlejuice and I'm blanking on the character's name, but Winona Ryder's character.
Yeah. I think it's Lydia.
Yes, Lydia. Yeah.
There's nothing. It's not really big. There's no real plot to it. There's a leaked plot, but we're not really going to talk about it because it's not really like confirmed. So I don't really want to like put information out there that's not true. But it looks good. It's just a teaser. It's just like a ooh, look it, we're back sort of thing. Jenna Ortega is in it. Yeah, Jenna Ortega's in it. She's playing the daughter of Lydia. Almost everyone's back except the father, because I think he died a long time ago. And so in the teaser they're at a funeral. So I think that's his funeral. I think the actor died. Hold on, everyone. We're gonna do some researching so we give you the best news.
Yeah, we don't do it before.
Why
Alec
are you doing
Baldwin
that?
Was the father.
You know,
so
I've actually
no, not Alec Baldwin.
No, he was the dead couple. Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
Yes, Charles
he
Dietz was the
is
original dad.
Jeffrey
I've actually
Jones.
never seen Beetlejuice.
Jeffrey Jones is still alive.
Really?
Maybe he just didn't want to come back.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, maybe he didn't want to.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Loser.
Oh, we're gonna stop talking about him because he has some controversies.
Oh. maybe that's why. Anyways.
Do your own research. Why are you listening to us? No, I'm just joking.
So funny.
So, anyways, yeah. So, I mean, obviously, it is that the dad I think died, and that's why they're all sitting at a funeral in the very beginning. And then it looks like also they haven't lived in the house, for a while, which is very interesting. So the first thing that came to my head was that Barbara and Adam, that's the characters' names, which is Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis. I don't think they're in this movie unless they are. I don't think they are though, because I feel like they would have shown them, which is very interesting because they were like the main characters of the last movie. Even though, yeah, Lydia was obviously, it was like also a main character, but like they were like the whole plot was about them. And Beetlejuice. So it's very interesting. I want to know what Tim Burton's going to do to explain. I don't think he's writing, but he's still directing. Explain why they're not there. I don't. Did they just want to move on, like to the afterlife, or like because they're ghosts? If you haven't seen the original Beetlejuice, spoilers. It's been out for like 40 years or something like that.
Yeah, I'm one of those. I've not seen it.
It's a classic. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, but it looks good. The really cool thing about this movie... Oh, sorry. Michael Keaton looks amazing as Beetlejuice.
I think we all knew that was going to happen, though.
He looks great. He sounds just like how he used to sound. There is, like, at the very end, there's a close-up on his face, and that's the only time where I was like, oh, he does look a little older. But I don't think it matters because Beetlejuice is supposed to look gross anyways and, like, decaying, so just...
Also, I think anyone
it looks bad.
Anyone who watched the original movie is gonna be going in like, I don't like that Michael Keaton looks older.
Yeah.
Even though he's aged 30 years since the original movie came out. Listen, I'm just glad they didn't use de-aging CGI on Beetlejuice because that would have looked 20 times worse.
Well, so speaking of the technology, supposedly Tim Burton has came out and said that he's not going to be using like any CGI, that he's going to be doing only stop motion to kind of keep the feel of the original movie, which is like really cool if he's actually going to do that. I'm sure there'll be some CGI, but it's not going to be like CGI characters. Like if there's monsters or creatures or whatever, everything's going to be practical and stop motion.
I'm sure it'll be like green screens and blue screens and stuff because obviously, but the other stuff, I think, like you said, like if there's more sandworms and things like sandworms, oh god.
Oh gosh.
At least it'll Gabe.
I'm also seeing, I don't know if this is confirmed, but I'm also seeing that Willem Dafoe is cast in this movie. So
I didn't. I knew about his role in that new Frankenstein movie coming out that looks really cool, but I didn't know he was in this. So
when you look up on Google, he's in the cast list, so that's usually not wrong. Besides,
on Google,
yeah, because it's pulling straight from IMDb.
Listen, kids, every time you read something on the internet, it's true. Believe it.
Yeah, duh.
You heard it from Justntime, host of Calling It Podcast. The internet never lies.
Oh, never lies. Never.
Quote it.
This is me calling it. Willem Dafoe's going to be in the movie.
Hey, there we go.
I just think the movie's going to be really fun, and I think it's going to be cool. I like the title. It's his name twice. So if they make a third one, which I don't know if they will, but if they do, they'll just do it. I think they'll do like Beetlejuice, and then shh. That'd be cool. I'm not doing it 3 times. Like if they did like that's the title for the third one, that'd be funny. Yeah, it looked really cool. I mean, there's not really much to talk about because there's no story plot or anything in it. It's just the characters and everybody looks great.
We all know they're going to end up on a beach surfing somewhere. We already know what's happening.
I think it's just exciting knowing that it's a lot of the same people, so you can kind of have faith that they're going to do the original justice. It's not like a new team coming in making something new where you're kind of like, oh god, what are they going to do with this property? Usually when it's the original people, you can kind of trust that they're going to make something that's a confident successor.
I do have one thing I want to call. and I'm calling it now, and I really hope they do this, but it'd be so funny if in the very beginning of the movie they started out with Beetlejuice still sitting there waiting to get called with his ticket that's like number 1 billion or whatever,
Yeah.
and he finally gets called, and it's like a 30-something-year-old joke that they finally like did. It would be so funny,
That'd
and
be
they better do it. So I'm
hilarious.
calling it
Like a
now.
30-year-old
That's how it
punchline.
starts. Yeah, he's been sitting there waiting this long, and that's why it took him so long to come back, is because he's been waiting for his name to be called. So that'd be hilarious. That's all I want.
That'd be a
Well,
great callback.
speaking of original teams coming back for things, something else that I have a lot of excitement for, and Marky shares my excitement, and Justin does not share either of our excitement, is
No!
Fede Alvarez's Alien Romulus. The trailer has just released, along with an awesome poster that just looks like it came from the original 3 movies. You've got the xenomorph's head floating above the poster with the saliva leaking. It oozes that perfect alien nostalgia that I wanted with this. Along with the trailer itself, I mean, obviously it's still a modern looking film, but I think it's done a really good job capturing that like lonely feel of one ship alone in space dealing with this horrible alien threat. And I mean, I've been excited since I heard that Fede Alvarez was going to run it, because I mean, he did the first Evil Dead remake, which I really like. He's also done a couple other things that I'm not huge on, but I can see where he was going with them. And I think it's just going in, like most things, with cautious optimism. But I'm really, from what I've seen so far, I think it's going to be really, really killer, and it's going to really give a new generation that feeling that the original Alien gave me when I watched it when I was little.
Oh, if it's giving me my original feeling, I'm not watching this movie.
Justin hiding under the covers.
I hate Alien. You literally,
Oh,
like,
Lord.
the way you said that, your original feeling, like, no, you already talked about it.
I think I sent you the.
No,
I
I'm
think I
gonna
sent you
drag
the.
you in there.
I think I sent you the trailer, and you're like, "Why didn't you tell me what this was? That was so awful."
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh yeah.
Marky,
So,
what's your thoughts?
so I think it'd be a great time for me to give a shout out to this great program called Angel Vid. It's a great program. You can get it, and it'll clean up your movies. And so,
My gosh.
you can watch anything on that, and it'll clean up your movies for you. So, Vid Angel, go look it up. Go on Google. Moving
Yeah,
forward,
if you're not comfortable watching it,
all you
you can
kids,
watch it like that.
all you kids out there, don't watch this. All you adults out there, get Vid Angel and watch it. All right. So, this is this is a definite return to the original feel, which, like Colton said, the loneliness of space, the loneliness of dealing with an alien all by yourself, which I think was the big like feel of the originals. The originals was like you have this confidence in all of your friends and your they had all these confidence in the people that were around them, and they're like and there's always the hero that's like I'm gonna take charge and go in there, and then it's like slowly but surely you realize, okay, you just want to run and you don't want to look back and you don't want to go in there. And so this one definitely feels like that, and it definitely feels like watch out because you think that the people around you are going to survive. Yeah, no, you're the only one getting out of this situation, and you're going to do that by being a coward and running the other way as fast as possible. So the original feel, which I personally think that it was a big influence, was the Alien Isolation game that came out recently. I think that had a big more recently. What did it come out, 2009? Or no, not 2009.
That is not recently.
Is that recent?
Sorry, 2006.
More recent than the
when did
original
it come out?
Aliens movie.
When
I'll
did
give
that
you
come out? When did that come out? Let me
It
do
came
a
out
quick.
like
Not recently.
2014.
2014. I'll take that.
I feel like. Hold on, let me look.
So like more recently. I mean, 10 years. It's not that long ago.
2014.
it just came out 10 years ago, and they're like, oh wow, there's a market for this. Let's push towards this. Let's create 2 really bad movies and then move on. And then sorry,
Oh
more
God.
recently. Listen, when you get to 32, everything just ends up being like, oh yeah, more recently. It's like, yeah,
You're
Like you're in
10
hoping
your
years ago.
everything.
50s.
You're hoping everything is recently.
Exactly. Recently, because I choose to be young.
Marky, I was
So
16, 17 years old when that game came out.
and I was 22. So boom.
I
Go
remember
ahead, keep
playing it
going.
horrified in my room,
Uh-huh.
sending
So
Justin videos.
so anyways, yeah, the so I think that it's gonna give you that original feel. And there's been other games that have come out, and I think that there's always been like an affinity towards the original feel of the really the third Alien movie was more so a little bit less so feeling than like the first and the second were. I think the second was the best Aliens, and then the first was the second best, and then the third one was just kind of there, and then we don't talk about anything else after that.
I don't know about that.
I don't anyway. You
But I'll
you
let you
can you
go.
can like it, but everything besides those 3 is just unwatchable, in my opinion.
They're all unwatchable.
For Justin, yeah, they're all unwatchable. But yeah, the I think this one definitely is going for that first one feel, and possibly like slightly the second one, but for sure the first one, that's the one it's going for.
This one's hitting
And
on your guys' nostalgia.
oh yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
definitely hitting
that's the
nostalgia.
point.
And yeah, I think that I think it's going to be a fun ride.
Yes, I'm very, very excited. I can only hope that it can bring. I like. Obviously, I don't think it's going to stand up to how iconic the original trilogy was, but I think as long as it doesn't try to be exactly that movie and tries to set itself apart by having cool new scares and characters, I think that's really the big thing for me is if they can make the characters likable. I think an issue with a lot of horror movies is they make characters that no one cares about. So like you're just waiting to watch them get killed. You're like, okay, cool. Well, whenever you die, you're gonna die. But I like to watch movies where I care about the characters because it makes it hit even harder when they do meet their untimely demise. And I mean, it makes it easier to root for someone that you actually care about. So with this main character in the new one, I hope that they make her someone that is enjoyable enough that I can be rooting for her, even though like I want the xenomorph to do awesome things, but I can still be like, hey, I want you to win this. You can do this. You got this. But we'll see. We got our first trailer. We got our first poster. Everything so far looks amazing to me. So just have to wait and see what comes from here. But I'm excited to see more. As much as I love new things, I also love good things that are made from existing properties. So we'll see how this goes.
I won't. Anyways, let's move on to important news. Speaking of space, Star Wars has a new series coming out. So it's called The Acolyte.
Yeah.
They released a really cool poster. I'll be honest, the poster was really cool. I did not expect
Not
it.
what I expected. Yeah.
Yeah, it's if you don't know, it's up on YouTube right now. But I'll describe it. It is a lightsaber kind of like on the floor, and instead of it being like a red blade coming out, it is blood, which is completely shocking for Star Wars because they don't really do that. So I think it's just them showing how serious this show's going to be. I saw people saying, "Oh, it's going to be rated R." I don't think it's going to be rated R. People, get your mind out. Stop being dumb. It's just them being
Stop
hey, this
being
is
dumb. You heard it here first.
Yeah, stop being dumb. I'm calling it podcast. I'm calling it right now. You're dumb for thinking that's going to be rated R. If it is, then that's crazy. But it's not,
wow,
it's not,
I was wrong.
It's not.
I'm calling it. Justin's gonna. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not gonna be though because it's Disney and it's Star Wars. They're probably gonna push it though on the PG-13, but they're not gonna make it rated R. I am gonna say that the trailer came out and it looks I mean, it looks cool. It does look really cool. So now we're gonna get into the Star Wars controversy, people, because Star Wars is something that we all really care about here.
Did somebody
And
say Star Wars controversy? Hi, my name's
uh-oh, oh no,
Mark.
we let him out. Run!
Run for the hills, quick, quick.
So
if you like
okay,
the Acolyte trailer, you might want to hang up right now and stop
general.
listening.
Hold on, general like thoughts on the trailer. The trailer looks really cool. It looks neat. It's like, whoa, we have more like, Jedi and lightsabers, and something that I've been really wanting to see for a long time, because every time we got like a little taste of Luke with his lightsaber, I'm like, oh yes. And like the Obi-Wan show was like, oh yes. But there's been a lot of shows without lightsabers, and I love them, but I miss seeing lightsabers and fights and duels and stuff like that. Like, yes, we had Ahsoka, but I feel like the Ahsoka
excuse
fights.
me, what about the dark saber at the Mandalorian?
He could barely hold
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So.
Eat your words, nerd.
Actually, if you think about it, it's pretty awesome because we got to see it in Wook in Mandalorian season 1. So
I already said that. You weren't listening.
I didn't know that was what you were referencing to. My bad. I thought you were talking about something else. My bad. I thought you were talking about Last Jedi.
Oh God!
Let's talk about that, Marky. Stop.
And got him.
You just got markied. Anyways. All right. So, anyways, what I'm trying to say is, it looks fun. It looks cool, the trailer. But when you really, really start to think about it as a Star Wars fan, and hold on, I need to be careful with what I say. I almost said if you're a real Star Wars fan.
Oof.
I still said
controversy.
it. So if you are like us, you notice a couple things about this trailer that makes you a little bit nervous, because this is where we're gonna get nerdy, people. Okay, so get ready. It can break canon very easily with this show. This takes place during the High Republic, which is Disney's new era that they've been trying to push down everyone's throats, and it's not really sticking. I know the gist of it, and I just know that it's kind of boring. It's 100 years before the Phantom Menace, which is episode 1, the first episode in the Star Wars chronological timeline. It's with Darth Maul, if you don't know, and little Anakin, all that kind of stuff, if you guys don't know. So it's 100 years before that, and it's supposed to be at the height of the Jedi. There's no evil, there's no darkness, and it's the best time to be a Jedi is during that time. The problem with that, though, is that this show's supposed to be about they didn't really say, and they only showed a little teaser, but they didn't show a red lightsaber, which we know will probably show up. But this is supposed to be about a Sith showing up during this. And the problem with that is that in episode 1, The Phantom Menace, they say that it's been 1,000 years since the Sith has shown up. So that's why it's very are they going to screw this up? I don't know. I don't know. Marky, what do you think?
So, I'm on the same boat there. It's going to be very easy. We haven't seen the Sith in a millennium. That's quote from Kiadi Mundi. And yes, I'm so nerdy that I know who said it and when he said it in the movie. Yes, I am that much of a nerd. And so, you're going to have a really tough time trying to explain why there's a Sith 200 years before Darth Vader, when you have or even Darth Maul for that matter, when you have Kiadi Mundi saying, oh yeah, well, the Sith. Now I will say, you're gonna have Sith they were acting during this time. They were just in hidden. The shadows. Yeah. So I'm wondering, why are they not in the shadows? So the Acolyte is now. It very well could be that they're acting in the shadows and they're just doing whatever they're doing in the show in the shadows. But in the show, there very clearly is a red lightsaber and it is being presented towards a group of Jedi, and the Jedi like pull out their lightsabers and everything. So I don't know. Like, now Justin already mentioned this, and I kind of agree with him. So I'm gonna give all credit to this calling it to Justin, but for it to be canon, for them to follow through and not make a contradiction to what has already happened, everybody who saw the red lightsaber in the trailer has
Mm-hmm.
to die.
And there's the only thing that it's so I know they're going to do it, and this is why I'm so worried. Everyone has to die that sees the lightsaber. So every Jedi that like sees this Sith has to die because it has to be kept a secret. The problem though is that there's one character that is alive. Well, supposedly two, but there was one that we know for sure, and that's Yoda, and he's younger. He's 100 years younger. So my problem is if Yoda finds out, is he just keeping the secret to himself? Because I know in the other movies, Yoda and Mace Windu have kept secrets from the council and blah blah blah. I don't know if that's what they're just gonna like say, like, oh, Yoda just kept it to himself the whole time, which I feel like is stupid. Yoda, I feel like wouldn't do that if it was something this big, especially at the height of the Jedi. I don't know. I don't know. They're it's very like I just hope they don't make Yoda seem like, oh, because he's young, he's a little bit dumb, sort of thing. Like, because Yoda's wise, like he's very wise. That's his whole thing. So it's very worrying. Like, it makes me nervous. And then supposedly, now this is just people doing speculation from the trailer, but supposedly, Plo Koon is in this because his species can live to like 300 and something years old, and he
Yep.
would still be young. So supposedly they saw the back of his head, which would be really cool. I like Plo Koon.
That would be awesome. I love
But that also doesn't explain, like, Plo Koon can't see this lightsaber. You can't see it and hear about it unless no one, like, it's like one of those things where someone says like, hey, this is happening, and like no one believes them, sort of thing.
Guys, maybe someone just found a red lightsaber on the ground and they picked it up and decided to be evil.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of worrisome.
It's
and it makes me nervous. I mean, it looks good, but it makes me nervous.
Yeah, I will say, like, I'm really hopeful for the fight scenes in this show. I really think that they're gonna probably go back to a little bit of the prequel trilogy style fighting, because the choreography in the prequels is just unmatched. Like, you look at the sequels and you look at the prequels, and you're just like, what were they doing? Like, did they just decide that they were just going to get like some random dude off the side of the street and be like, okay, swing this around and we're just going to do whatever you do? Because like,
even just a little bit of Ahsoka, it was a little bit slower than I wanted it to be, because Ahsoka like was part of the prequels. So I thought she'd be fighting like extremely fast, but it was kind of slower. So I really hope, like you're saying, they go back to that.
Because you have like
fighting.
You have like Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen just absolutely demolishing all comers when it comes to fighting. And you see like in episode 3 when they in the Battle of Heroes, and you're just like, what in the world are they doing with, like, because like you see like the sequel trilogy, you see even to a lesser extent the Ahsoka show, and it's just like, this is not good choreography. So I watched a breakdown of the sequel trilogy fight scenes, and it's just so funny, like how bad they were, because like there was a actual, like, it was a YouTube thing, so it's whatever. But like he was like explaining, like, you just dropped your guard, that saber would have or that weapon would have gone straight through you. Like you would have just been dead.
If you watch the you can go on YouTube and look this up, people, but if you watch the Last Jedi fight with Rey and Kylo Ren going against the First Order in that room where it's like all red and stuff, you just watch it in slow motion. And like when you're watching it normal for the first time, it looked cool, but then when you watch it in slow motion, there's like people dipping out, like they're not even getting hit, they're just like, oh, jumping backwards.
It's
and like
so bad.
It's
waiting for
it's really bad. It's horrible, and something that the prequels did not do. Like I don't know. I hope, like what you're saying, Marky, that they go back, because it's the height of the Jedi. So I hope they go through like all the different fighting styles and they use them, and it's like really cool and it's super fast. And I hope we see that Wookiee Jedi like fighting really fast.
Oh,
seeing his hair go everywhere. That'd be crazy.
That would be awesome. Uh,
Yeah.
and then another thing that just irked me was this dumb line in the trailer where I don't know if it was supposed to be the acolyte talking or maybe a Jedi, I can't remember, but it was this character in the show, and they said there is no good and no evil. It's only the power that you can take, or the power that
Oh
you are
yeah.
given, something like that. The cringiest line. It's like, what do you mean there's no good and evil? What are you talking about?
It's like the whole point of Star
It's
Wars.
literally like, oh yeah, so the Empire's not evil. The Emperor and Darth Vader are not evil. There's no good, there's no evil. It's just a power. It's like, what are literally, it
So
completely misses the entire point of
that's
Star
what makes
Wars.
me worried, because the person that I think directed this came out and said that um they want to push the limits in something else, like try to like make you like think otherwise, like about everything George Lucas has made, and like basically like being like, yeah, everything George Lucas made, I'm gonna be like, no. And that's what makes me worried, because it's like, why do they keep doing this? Like, I don't like it. Here's the thing about this show, people. The show is either going to be absolutely amazing, or it's going to be absolutely terrible. I don't
Yeah,
think there's really going to be a middle ground. Like, maybe there'll
no,
be some cool fights or something, and like a little bit of a cool lore, but other than that, it's like they either have to kill it and like it's gonna be great, like that line. Maybe someone says that and someone's like, "No, you're wrong," and they prove that person wrong,
yeah,
and that's like, okay, cool. But like if they try to like take everything about the Force and everything that we know and be like, "Yeah, you're all this has been wrong the whole time," and be like, "That's stupid," because that's not what people want. People don't want that. The reason why we like Star Wars and the Force and the light side and the dark side is because of what it is, not because we want it changed. It's stupid,
yeah.
and
Agreed.
that's what I'm so sick of. That's what we're sick of about the Marvel shows recently, is because they've been hiring people that don't know anything about Marvel. So it's like they just did the same thing with Star Wars, and they hired someone that knows nothing about Star Wars and thinks that George Lucas is lame, which is so dumb, so dumb. That's like it's like hiring someone for a Spider-Man movie and being like, "Yeah, but this I think Stan Lee and Spider-Man's stupid." Like, oh my gosh, dude. Well, that's Sony in general.
Agreed.
I don't know. It's a very controversial thing. There's a lot of people that are just like, it's gonna be good no matter what, and that's just people being annoying. And then there's other people that are looking too far into it, but then there's people
Yeah,
like us that are just worried that
yeah,
like we're because it's touching on very sensitive subjects in Star Wars, where if they go and change things, it's gonna make a lot of people angry, and
yeah.
then they're not gonna care, and it's gonna be annoying.
And it's
So,
already been ratioed on YouTube, actually, the
oh
trailer. So,
really?
so I know that the majority of the fans are already not happy with the look. Now, I'm sure that they're still going to watch it, and they can absolutely be proven wrong. Like we just said, like, it's like, yes, we are cautious. Like there are some people who are excited, some people who are cautious, and some people who are mad. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, Disney, just prove us wrong, and
Oh,
we'll move on. It's like that's all you got
oh,
to do.
and
Make it great.
the biggest thing, either unless they want to make more seasons or more stories about it, if this is a one-off show, one season sort of thing, it has to lead into Darth Plagueis.
Yeah, it would have to
If
lead
it
into
does,
Darth Plagueis.
if it doesn't, then like that's another thing. Like Darth Plagueis was like the reason why Palpatine became himself and blah blah blah, and the dark side and the Sith all kind of came back. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Man,
I'm gonna say my calling it is that the acolyte is obviously so in acolyte, if you don't know, in the Star Wars lore, an acolyte is basically like a Padawan, and so Darth Maul was an acolyte to Emperor Palpatine. So the acolyte is going to be going around doing all of the messy work, if you will, of the main Sith Lord, because we know the rule of two was established. I'm getting very nerdy into this, by the way. The rule of two was established by Darth Bane, and so we have only two Siths,
Siths,
Sithai, Siths. Anyway,
Sith.
so
You
you
had
only
a
have two
stroke
Sith,
there.
and yeah, I had an aneurysm. No, so you only have two Sith, and you know that you're gonna have one in the shadows, basically commanding the Padawan or the Acolyte in this case to be going around and doing all of his bidding, and the Acolyte is going to be trying to overthrow the power of the Sith Lord, and so always trying to attain that next level of power. There's always a power struggle between them, and so I think that the big bad behind all of this show is going to be Darth Plagueis, because the timeline would actually fit pretty well. Darth Plagueis lived a long time, and it would make sense that because he was an alien species, and so Darth Plagueis survives throughout this, and eventually it'll be down the line when he makes Emperor Palpatine at the time, Sheev Palpatine, when he's younger, he's going to make him his new acolyte. And of course, we know that from the episode 3, that the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, that Palpatine does end up killing Darth Plagueis and becoming the new Sith Lord, puppeteering the entire empire and everything afterwards. So I think that my calling is that Darth Plagueis will be the new big bad for this show, working behind the scenes, and whoever the acolyte is, which we see a girl fighting I can't remember her name, the girl from Matrix.
Supposedly it's May, like the end character for the acolyte is May.
Okay.
Like Mae.
Okay, so we know that the girl, she's fighting the Jedi. I don't think that that's the acolyte. I think that's a double bluff. I think that's just a person in a bar that happens to be
because at the very end of the trailer they show a bunch of Jedi, which they have yellow sabers.
Woo! Yes, they do.
My favorite blade. They show some kind of dark side like burst or something. So I think that's who they're trying to keep. Like, they're not showing, but they're teasing, and they're trying to make it seem like it's that girl, but it's not.
Yeah. So that's my two calling. It's that girl in the trailer is not the Sith. Then the second one is that I think it's going to be, personally, I think it could be like a who's done it. Like, who is the acolyte? We don't really know.
Well, that's the whole point of the show. So we probably should have said this in the beginning. The whole point of the show is that 2 Jedi from the council are going on a mission, kind of like to investigate and figure out what is happening. And so that's basically what it is. It's a whodunit, who is this? And we're following these 2 Jedi to figure out who this acolyte is. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. It's different.
But in the sense that I think it's going to be like a who's done it. Like, we're going to come in contact with the character. We're going to see a bunch of other characters. And like, it's going to be just like, what in the world is going on? And then there's going to be the big reveal at the end where it's like, oh, the acolyte is this person. And I think that's how it's going to be. And again, it could be great. It could be bad. We'll never know until we see it. So it's just
the only way I think they could do this is, like we said, everyone has to die, which would be crazy. But I mean, they've done it before with Rogue One, and it would honestly make for a great show if all the people on the light side die. Like, it'd be crazy because it is about the Sith. They can't mess up any of the lore with the timeline. And it has to lead into Darth Plagueis at the end. And you know what would be so crazy is if they were doing this to go, imagine like the new Hunger Games movie that just came out. What is it? The Birds and the something? Battle of the Birds and the Bees.
I was about to say, I was like, that's not what it is.
No, it's the Battle of Songbirds and Snakes. That's what it is. But imagine how that's about President Snoke becoming him. Imagine if this led into a like show / movie about Palpatine becoming Palpatine, like when he's young and learning about the dark side. That'd be really cool. I feel
that would be cool. I don't think it will. Maybe it.
I don't think it will either.
Maybe
I don't think it will either.
I don't think
it
will.
Imagine.
It would be crazy.
Be so cool.
Just because I don't think that he's 200 years old in the
No. But I'm saying like it leads to Darth Plagueis, time jump, and then it's about Darth Plagueis and Palpatine sort of thing.
Yeah, you know what? That might be not a bad calling. It actually. It is actually Sheev Palpatine the whole time, because we know that Plagueis does supposedly teach him, how to have unnaturally long life.
I don't know. I think it will be Plagueis,
because and it would make sense, because then it would make the betrayal of Palpatine to Vader even more insane, that he actually knew the solution to saving Padme the whole time, but since he was pulling the strings the whole time, he didn't reveal that information to him and let her die, that would be kind of crazy. I don't know. That's just speculation, but that would be kind of crazy.
That would be cool.
I mean, I thought he let her die because he knew that's what would ultimately turn Anakin completely.
Well, yeah,
right, but it would confirm that.
It would confirm that he did know how to save Padme the whole time, and he just didn't, sort of thing. So it just
basically add on to the fact that he was just that evil. He was like, we knew that.
Ha! Your wife died, idiot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's crazy. Sheesh. We can go on about the Acolyte for a very long time, and we're not going to. We're gonna stop. Colton, do you have any thoughts about it?
It's kind of unknown territory for me. I'm not really as deep into Star Wars lore as you guys are. I'm also not as critical of Star Wars as you guys are. So I kind of just let you guys have your rant to each other about it. I just hope it's fun. The lore stuff isn't as important to me as it is to you guys, unless it's like an obviously stupid, like completely story breaking thing. But I'm just looking forward to something new in Star Wars. I mean, I've fallen back in love with Star Wars ever since the first season of Mandalorian came out. So any new stuff that's live action other than Andor, I've been like right on top of. I'm just, I'm also excited. It's my first introduction to anything High Republic era, so I'm hoping it's not as boring as I've been led to believe it is.
Wait, you never
like obviously
Andor?
I guess we had a little bit of it in Jedi Survivor, but I wouldn't really.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's like a little bit of that, but it's not enough where I was like, yeah, I'm pretty familiar with the High Republic now.
Yeah.
I haven't.
And obviously, I still need to watch a lot of Star Wars stuff to get the full picture. So that's a memory or a knowledge block for me on a lot of things. But I'm just excited for new Star Wars stuff. I'm excited for more lightsaber fights, hopefully, because as we've all said, those are always fun when they're done well. And excited for kooky new alien characters, like that goofy little alien Padawan that looks really funny.
Yeah, it's been going around Instagram everywhere.
Yeah.
The little goofball.
Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of Star Wars, we're moving on to we have some other Star Wars news. We have technically three things that came out this week. One is that Trumu is releasing a special edition blue milk, and you can try the blue milk that Luke Skywalker had on Tatooine in Episode 4.
Hold on.
Vanilla flavored blue
comfort
milk.
of your own home.
I have to say this. This is how bad of a nerd I am with Star Wars, is that the first thing came to my head was, does this break canon? Because I've had blue milk over at Galaxy's Edge, and it's not milk. It's like a different flavored slushy sort of thing, because that's what it's supposed to taste like. But now they're releasing this. Is this canon milk? Which one is the canon milk? I need to know.
I think this is just for fun.
That is so funny.
It's the first thing that came to my head. It wasn't, oh, cool. It was, hold on. How does this work?
I think this is just for fun, buddy.
I need answers.
Listen, if your blue milk is losing continuity in the story, I think that there's a big deep problem with your Star Wars. Okay, so I think that you should definitely
this is the canon
a long
we need to care
look.
about.
Star
screw
Wars,
the Acolyte,
Lucasfilm,
screw the sequels,
screw all of this.
We need to worry about the blue milk.
If your blue milk is different in Galaxy's Edge than it is from Trumu, we are gonna riot. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the last straw.
If this mass-produced blue milk is different than the very specific recipe they have for a couple places in Disney parks, I'm gonna be furious.
Oh my god! Hey, at least it's not green milk. Green milk is gross.
Oh my gosh!
I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be vanilla flavored milk with food coloring.
I'm
almost positive that's gonna be what it is.
The chunky, like mucusy looking green milk from Last Jedi that has absolutely no like appeal whatsoever, that everyone was looking like, ugh. And then they're like, you know what? Let's make some.
Yeah, and then it turned out to be awful in the parks too. So
yeah, it's like, oh, I'm so glad that you kept continuity on that.
All right, that's disgusting.
So,
anyways, I think that's all we got to say about the blue milk. I mean, I'll try. I'll be trying it. I don't know about you guys.
I'm gonna be buying at least a gallon or two.
Maybe we'll do a video
like
at least a gallon.
Marky will be buying stock in the blue milk so it stays around. Maybe we'll do like a video of us reacting to it if it's like
I'm so down.
if it's grody. If it's just normal, then we're probably not gonna post it.
Be like, wow, that was the most disappointing blue milk I've ever had.
I think we should actually.
Okay,
and I've tried the green milk too.
We'll be like, wow. And then
I'll cut, blue milk, guys.
And then I'll cut to me having both blue milks and explaining why it doesn't make sense. Anyways, besides blue milk, we have another thing that was just announced. The Star Wars 9-film marathon, which is insane. I saw someone say that it's gonna be it's in theaters. It's coming back. Do you guys know the date? I don't remember the dates.
I think that it was starting May the 4th.
Was it?
I think so. They were doing it like.
I mean, it would make sense, yeah. But I know that the what's it called? The 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace is also happening May 3rd too. So that'd be kind of ridiculous to go see that movie and then see it again the next day. But anyways, someone said it's 24 hours long. That's insane. There's no like how. Okay, I don't know. Hold on. The people that have to work this better be getting like a bonus because imagine
it is coming out May the 4th, by the way.
That's like insane. I can't even, as a huge Star Wars fan, I can't imagine sitting in a movie theater for 24 hours. Like that's a lot.
Guess you're not a wheel fan then. What can I say?
I know that they did that for the. I remember they did that for when Infinity War came out, or was it Endgame? One of the two. They played all of the Marvel.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was crazy. I think that was.
They had them separated. That was it wasn't a marathon. It was like different times, so you can like go take a break and come back and watch.
Yeah.
It wasn't like sit in your chair for 24 hours, and that's crazy. I mean, I'll be honest. If I saw it, I would probably leave after maybe Force Awakens. Like maybe I'd stay for Force Awakens because I do like that one, but I'd probably leave after Episode 6.
Blasphemy!
I'd come in, I'd watch the prequels, and then I would leave.
Yeah,
you know that's actually not a bad idea.
I'd skip the first 3, love them, but I don't need to sit through 9 hours of movies. Or like probably 12 for all 6. I'd skip the first 3. I might even just watch Episode 3 and then leave.
Honestly,
just so I can see it in theaters again.
Seeing Revenge of the Sith in theaters would be awesome again. Like that's that's probably what I would do.
I'd probably watch Attack of the Clones too, actually.
Yeah. All right, let's just go.
Let's just do all 24 hours.
Would you? You'd watch the sequel trilogy, Marky?
No,
you'd sit through Last Jedi.
I'm never wasting my time again. I've watched that one time, and that's all the misery I can put myself through.
Okay,
come on, it's not bad.
To your point, Force Awakens wasn't that bad.
Force Awakens is not that bad.
No.
Okay, but here, I really want to know your opinion.
Because it's just a New Hope.
I want to know your opinion on this, Marky, but don't get too into it, okay?
Boy.
Because I know you're going to. You're going to want to.
Okay.
In your opinion, what is worse, Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker?
Oh gosh. Okay, so you have somebody who wanted to sabotage the entire series versus somebody who tried to recover that and did it in a terrible way. I'm going to say The Last Jedi.
Okay.
Because it was intentional.
The Star Wars Holiday Special.
You know, I would watch that every single day for the rest of my life rather than sit through Last Jedi one more time.
I don't think that's true.
You're right, it's not, but I'm exaggerating. And as I said it, I was like, this is so far-fetched, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Every single day of your life.
Maybe for like 2 weeks.
I would probably start pulling my hair out after maybe
every time you have to watch The Last Jedi, you would rather watch a holiday special. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Every single day of your life.
Yeah,
your first child is being born. Sorry, I gotta watch this.
Sorry, I gotta watch this.
Time.
You gotta watch the holiday special real fast.
It's better than watching The Last Jedi.
Part of my sentence.
Oh my gosh.
No, but yeah, Last Jedi was absolutely atrocious, just in almost every way. And then, of course, The Rise of Skywalker was no better, but at least the Rise of Skywalker,
The only thing that's like decent is that he was just trying to fix everything, even
yeah,
though there's a lot of dumb choices.
yeah. So it was like, oh yeah, honestly, I could talk about why The Last Jedi was just atrocious, but
But we won't.
but yeah, like just yeah, no,
You
and I'm
can
saying
pay for that. If you guys want to hear that, we'll put
we'll
it
put
on
it on
Patreon,
Patreon,
and
and I'll
it's
give you
Marky
mine,
going on for 24 hours about the Last Jedi.
which you may want to watch instead of watching the entire thing in theaters. So whatever,
It'll be cheaper, and you can pause it.
There you go. No, I won't go deep into it, but all in that to say, The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker were an affront to the entire Star Wars series, and that's all that we can say about that before I go crazy.
Yeah, let's move on
Yeah.
to Star Wars
Please.
Celebration that's happening next year in
Colton said,
Japan.
"Please." He's like, "Please get me out of this."
Please move on.
So Star Wars Celebration is happening in Japan next year, and when they announced it last year, I really, really wanted to go because I always wanted to go to Japan, and I was like, oh, maybe we could save up and go. Problem about that is that also Epic Universe comes out the same year, so it's like,
Bum, bum,
yeah, pick and
bum.
choose what you want, and there'll be more Star Wars Celebrations. There won't be a grand opening of Epic Universe ever again, so
Right.
that's what I'm choosing. But people are actually, so I'm actually gonna put two things together. I'm gonna put D23 and the Star Wars Celebration together because a lot of people are actually and actually a YouTuber, I won't say his name. He's a Disney YouTuber. He's actually kind of calling out Disney, which is so shocking because he kind of like kisses Disney's butt a lot. But a lot of people are pointing out, like, why would you pay to go to these things if like it's just a Disney paywall to be like, yeah, this is what we're announcing and we're gonna put it on social media anyways, so you're just paying a ticket for no reason. Like, yes, you can go meet some celebrities, which I think is the reason why, and you can hang out with people that like the same things as you do, just like Comic-Con. But they do have kind of a point that they're hosting these big conventions about what they're gonna announce behind a paywall, even though they're gonna announce it. So it's very interesting.
I mean, there are some people that will pay for the experience of being the first one to see it.
Yeah.
That could be part of it, but I do understand the point. Like, oh, you're going to release it anyways, like
Yeah.
the next day. So
I just hope that like, and I get it. Like, there's probably some things I would really like to see like in person and be there and see like Ewan McGregor or Hayden Christensen on stage talking about it. Like, that's awesome. That's what makes these celebrations and like D23s so cool, is because you get to see these actors and you get to see them talk and meet them sometimes. And I mean, the cosplays and the hanging out and stuff, that's what makes it worth it. And that's why I feel like these people online are kind of like looking over. They're just like being annoying to be annoying, which is most of Twitter/X or whatever. But what was I gonna say? Oh, I just hope that they announce Star Wars Celebration for like 2027 to be in Orlando, because people have been hoping it was in Orlando. It went to LA, and I think it stayed in LA again, and now it's going to Japan. So it's been way too long, and it has to come to Orlando like now, because they haven't been here, and I would go. I seriously would go. I would save up to go. It would be so cool. I would get my cosplay ready. I would do everything to go to that. That would be. We'd get a hotel. We'd have to all go. It would be so fun. So please, I know you're listening, right? You're totally listening to the podcast. Please announce Orlando, because, like, can you imagine staying at like a hotel, going to Galaxy's Edge, and then going to Star Wars Celebration like the next day, hanging out, and then like everyone's like, hey, let's go do lightsaber hangout, and we all do the lightsaber hangout. It'd be so fun. It'd be so fun.
100%. And well, I will follow up with your comments on the paywall watching stuff before it comes out, like trailers and stuff. I will say they have done that, and like not all of the trailers get released right after, because I know that I can't remember what it was. If it was,
there's a lot. I know it was. There's a lot of movies and TV shows where they show clips or trailers, and they don't even release that to the public until
and so
and then it gets leaked.
Which I was about to mention that, but I can't remember if it was Celebration D23 or their stockholder meeting, but I remember that they released footage of the Acolyte like a long time ago. Like, and it was the image of that we got in the trailer with the Matrix character. I never can remember her name. And she's fighting that girl in the bar.
She's
and
the Dune mom too, right?
No, she's not. That's not the same character. That's
really? It looks just like her.
No, the
Yeah, no,
Dune
it's
the
not
Dune
Rebecca
mom
Ferguson.
is she's actually the same one who plays in The Greatest Showman. She plays
Yeah.
the
Oh, you're
famous
right.
singer. Yeah.
hmm
So
Holy cow.
yeah, different actors. But so they showed that, and I've actually showed another trailer in that, which they haven't even released yet. They released Mandalorian season 3 trailer, which that has already come out now. And then yeah, and they still haven't released this trailer, and that's for Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew.
I was just about to ask about Skeleton
Yeah,
Crew.
Skeleton Crew. The trailer came out in the in that. It was just a short little clip, and you see um Jude Law, and he's with the kids in the show, and it's like this tiny little clip, and they just talk about it for a little bit, and then it was like done, and it was like, and we still haven't got the trailer for that. And since then, The Mandalorian season 3 has come out, and I watched I was going to say I watched the leaked trailers online. And I actually still have it saved on my phone. If you want it, I can send it to you. But in the interest of not getting taken down, we won't put that on the podcast.
He's talking about sending it to us.
Yeah, not to you.
He's not going to send it to you viewers.
Sorry,
and he wouldn't do that anyways.
We don't support leaks.
We don't support leaks, not at all. Anyway,
he's joking for legal reasons.
For legal reasons, I am joking completely. I do not have them, and it was all a joke. Yeah, I also do not suggest you go and watch them on YouTube. Anyway, it's that has not been released yet. So I think that there are aspects of going to these that it's like, okay, you may perhaps see something that that is not going to be released for a long time. But then there's also the things that's like, yeah, the Bad Batch trailer was like released as soon, and I can't remember what season that was. The Bad Batch trailer was like released immediately, and it was like, oh, okay, so there you go. But if I'm not mistaken, Skeleton Crew is supposed to come out this year, right? Is that true? Or
yeah, I'll look it up right now.
All right, so the if I'm not mistaken, it does come out this year, and we still haven't got a trailer for that. But now we just now got the trailer for the Acolyte, which the Acolyte trailer was given to them like about the same time, and we
all
just
it
now
says is before the end of 2024.
Okay, so it's probably coming out
March 8th.
So so it'll probably be coming out towards the fall.
We'll probably get a trailer and a release date.
I would say maybe holiday.
Yeah, holiday.
A holiday release.
Maybe
we'll get our information on May 4th, probably.
Yeah. So it'll be good. I think that yeah. We'll see. The Acolyte trailer, we just now got it, and it's just now like not even 3 months before it comes out. So it's it's a double-edged sword. I think that there's some of them that are going to come out that are like boom immediately. Here's the trailer, and then boom, and then also they show trailers for that are a little more.
I don't know. I think it's a stupid argument anyway. I think you go for the experience. I don't think I'm going to pay just to go see a trailer, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
People just, I don't know. I think
if you're paying to watch a trailer,
it's just getting worse. It's getting worse and worse where people are just complaining to complain about.
They want to just find something to complain about. Yeah.
Just I'll be honest. The world is just negative. Anyway,
speaking of complaining, oh sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of complaining, we have the United States suing Apple.
Oh, hold on. Let me talk about this real quick. So, if you don't know, we're going to keep this like really short, but Fortnite was suing Apple because Apple is like a monopoly and they get like 30% of the profits when you buy anything from the App Store, which is like insane. And I mean, if you know Apple, everybody has an iPhone more than they have an Android. So they kind of have a monopoly on that anyways, because there's not really any other choices for phones besides Android. And I feel like, when we were little, there was like all types of different phones. And now it's literally just two, mostly just one, because Apple's just on top of it. And they don't do any upgrades because they know people are going to buy it. It's stupid. Anyways, Fortnite was like, you know what, you're dumb. We're suing you because they tried to kick out Fortnite off the App Store, and it was a whole thing because they wanted more money. Fortnite's like, no, you're ridiculous. You already take 30%. Why would we give you more? Blah 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 blah. So then, when Fortnite took them to court, they went to court a couple times. Then this last time, I think they won a couple and lost a couple. It's been a back and forth sort of thing. But Microsoft and like other companies are all backing Fortnite and suing Apple as well for being a monopoly. And I don't think it worked. I think they lost or something. I think they lost for some reason. I don't remember. But now the United States is suing Apple for being a monopoly, which is crazy. So like, I don't think they can get out of this one now because now it's like a whole country, and I think even Europe did
Whole
it too.
country. It's pretty bad when the entire country's suing you.
When the whole country's like, yo, dude, you're messed up. You gotta stop. I think Europe just did it, and I think that's why the United States is doing it, because Europe did it and they got them to change the USB or the lightning cord to USB-C cables, and they changed something about their app store, blah, blah, blah. So I think the US is doing the same thing. So this actually might be huge. Like, the way this turns out later, like this could change a lot. This could change with like other companies making phones, and maybe Apple actually has to do upgrades to their phones, and like it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be interesting. So yeah, I just think it's cool that that's happening, because I mean, I think any big company like that should be held accountable. I mean, even Disney at some points should be held accountable, and like stuff like that. So it's cool.
Agreed.
Let's look at our list of things that we're gonna talk about. Speaking of Fortnite, there's a new guitar. So there's a game mode called Fortnite Festival, which is basically Guitar Hero / Rock Band. It's made by the same people that made Rock Band, and it's in Fortnite. It's really cool. It's really fun. They release new songs every Thursday, which is really cool. And they change out every day. So like if you want to play, there's like different songs every day, but you can buy songs if you want to keep them. They're pretty cheap. I have a couple. But they're making a guitar. I have a couple. I do. I only have like 2 or 3. Marky has like 25.
Well,
and
thanks for calling me out.
But they're making a guitar controller by PDP, and it's been rumored for a while, but now they're finally releasing it. It's coming out later in the year, but the pre-orders are happening. But the first 500 who order for there's 2 different ones. There's a PlayStation one and an Xbox / PC one. And it's not really different. It's just the buttons, look different. It's all the same guitar. But anyways, the first 500 people get this like cool plate, so you can switch out the plates and customize the guitar. It's $130, but they sold out instantly.
That's
like
crazy.
Apps that like instantly within 10 minutes they sold out. And so they had to bring them back and be like, hey, you can still buy it, but you can't get the 500. The first 500 can't. That's done. You can't get the exclusive plate. But they're selling out like crazy, and I'm just super excited to have like a Rock Band sort of game again, because they did announce that they're going to eventually put drums as a set also later on, which I want to get to.
Which I will be buying. Because
it'd be so fun to play again. It just brings back a lot of nostalgia as a kid, and I remember playing with my brother, like with Rock Band. It was super fun. Any thoughts on the guitar? Otherwise, I can move on to the next one.
I think you covered it. I'm just excited for those drums because in our Rock Band, I'm the drummer. So yeah.
I can't play drums on the controller because it hurts my thumbs. Okay.
Yeah, understandable.
I play on PlayStation. He plays on PC. It's completely different. The other thing I want to point out for Fortnite is I don't have this on the list, but I wanted to throw this in there. Is that they did announce a whole bunch of new. I do have it on there actually. A whole bunch of new updates and experiences are coming out. So there's a new Unreal Engine like settings that creators can use. So there's a new physics setting. There's Fall Guys, I guess, is going to be. I don't know. So this is confusing. I don't know if it's just going to be like a little like teaser game mode in it, or if they're moving all of Fall Guys into Fortnite, like as a game, because Fortnite's kind of like a hub now.
God,
So,
I hope not. Keep it separate.
So I think it is coming though. Which I mean, me, Marky, and Hudson like Fall Guys. Colton can't play Fall Guys. They announced some new Lego mini games that look pretty fun. There's new physics that people can use. It's just there's a whole bunch of stuff that they're doing, and it's really cool and really exciting. But one thing I wanted to point out, which was really cool. Oh, metahumans are coming to Fortnite Unreal Engine, and custom UI, custom mini maps, all that kind of stuff. But metahumans, that's what had to do with the Captain America and Black Panther game. That's why they look so realistic. So these like super realistic people are coming to Fortnite, which is like crazy.
Which
Like,
hoping we get some new characters like from like Star Wars, Marvel, all of those, and then now with that new feature, that would be crazy.
and they announced
Hoping
that
we'll see.
in 2026 or 2026, so when the new chapter 6 comes out, they're going to start using everything's going to be built in Unreal Engine 5. Like we're using it right now, but it's not built in it, so everything's going to be built from the ground up with Unreal Engine 5. There's going to be first person finally, Fall Guys, the metahuman. So I'm like, it's kind of crazy. Like, is Fortnite going to change? Are the graphics going to change again? I don't know. I kind of like the cartoony style. It's very interesting, but it's cool that they're letting creators can use all these assets. They can use all this to whatever they want to build whatever they want, whatever game. So that's the coolest part about it. And the other cool thing is that the other additions that are coming later on is proximity chat in Fortnite. Super cool. Text chat, item trading. Don't know how that's going to work. That can be abused very easily. So I'm very nervous about that one. Custom quests and new obstacle course creations. So we love our death runs. So that would be cool.
Finally, we need harder death runs.
No, we don't. I struggled with the basic ones.
You're not veterans like Justin and I.
Yeah, so it's cool. There's a lot of cool stuff coming to Fortnite. I think Fortnite is our closest thing to Ready Player One. Even if you heard about our past podcast about that, we talked about that.
Which, speaking of Ready Player One, they've announced Ready Player 2 is coming out soon.
Oh, that's cool. I also want to say this now before I forget. At the time of this recording, none of us have seen it, but I don't think any of us have seen it. But the Penguin trailer has released. So we'll just put that in our next podcast.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I just saw it just dropped.
What is is that like
the Penguin from the Batman?
Oh,
movie.
from the Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, the Penguin.
Colin Farrell Penguin.
Colin Farrell. Oh, okay, yes, I remember
the TV show for
I
HBO
remember
Max.
talking about that. Yeah.
So we haven't watched it yet. We don't know anything about it, but
that was my nifty way of getting you to explain what that was to all of our
viewers. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then besides that, I mean, there's a new TV show called Ark.
We have the Ark show, and then we also have a Sims movie that was announced. It is going to be directed or produced rather by Margot Robbie, which is
I don't care.
Barbie.
The only way I'm watching that movie is if it's completely in Simlish. I want to walk in and have no clue what they're saying the entire hour and 40 minutes.
Listen, I think that's exactly what needs to happen. I agree completely. You know,
if I walk in that movie and they speak English and aren't like Carparglush, Monsevern, Imatouche, I'm gonna be so mad.
Okay, I also feel like the reason why it's Margot Robbie's production company is because I feel like the Barbie movie, the style and how it is very similar, like how they would make a Sims movie.
Similar.
Yeah.
Wow.
But right, like, am I right? Like, it's very, like I just said, similar.
Mm-hmm.
To how I could see a
Similish.
Sims movie being. I feel like it wouldn't be like it would be like, oh, this is the game, and then they're all walking around with like jewels over their heads, like emeralds, and like waving. That's what I feel like. And I feel like what would happen is it would start off with Simlish, and then maybe there's like a narrator being dumb and funny, and he's like, oh, you can understand them. Here's subtitles, blah blah blah.
I just does The Sims have lore?
Yeah, The Sims have lore. Just their lore. Oh my god!
At least with Barbie,
my new mantra.
The story behind like how the Barbie was made and what the doll means or whatever. But like, I don't know about The Sims.
What? Colton's a sim nerd. He needs
he needs more sim lore.
Well, I mean, what else? How are you going to make a movie about it that isn't just like, oh, these are normal people walking around? I guess That's
Well,
what
the
you do with
same
The Sims.
way they made the movie about Barbie, how it's about a toy that comes to life. Maybe it's about Sims that come to life or something, and they're like,
I guess we'll see if it actually happens. I guess we'll
yeah,
see.
it's just like a rumor. It's not really even announced, but
It's gonna be my new thing. I'm just gonna be like, okay, this is good, but is the lore good?
yeah.
Is there significant lore behind it?
Did we
Okay,
talk about
listen.
Ark?
Most of the time, when you make a movie about an established property, that property has some lore.
I mean,
The
Minecraft
Sims
doesn't
does
have
not.
lore. I
I
mean,
know. That's why it's so funny that Jack Black is like, I'm playing a lot to learn about my character, Steve.
But then
What?
also, they're talking about how it's supposed to be before Minecraft as well in the movie, and I'm like, what do you mean? What is going on with this movie? I have a feeling that the Minecraft movie is going to be like the Lego movie, where it's just goofy and dumb, but it's
Yeah,
also fun.
that's what
So
it should be.
yeah,
yeah,
especially if you
very.
got Jack Black in there.
I mean, that's the same thing the Sims movie should be. I mean, they could play around with like the Grim Reaper stuff and all that. Who knows? It's just a weird thing to make a movie about, I guess.
Yeah.
Where it's just
Yeah.
people living life.
Well,
and then
it's that oh, the
freaks
video
running
game
that
movies
life.
are doing really good, so the studios are like, oh, what games can we do that are
Yeah,
popular?
but like you make a movie about the Sims, or maybe you revive the Dead Sly Cooper movie. I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe.
Well, I will say
Join Colton's
on-
petition to bring the
Yeah.
Sly Cooper movie back.
I will say I don't even think that there was really a lore for Barbie, to be honest. Like, there's really
No,
like
that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean, there's
yeah.
story behind the doll being made and like what the doll means.
Well,
at
that's
least.
what.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's not like.
I don't
Barbie
even know if the
lore.
Sims has that.
I mean, it's like do whatever you want.
Well, The Sims actually, I think,
Yes.
was
whoever you wanna be.
simulation game for. It was like for a college or for some kind of company or something, and it ended up being. The guy was like, "Oh, this is actually kind of cool. Maybe I can release it as a
knows?
video game." So
It's not like it even matters if it needs something to make a movie out of it. If they want to do it, some idiot will spend money to make it. So
yeah, well, I mean, they're making a live action Pac-Man movie, which I have no idea how that's going to work out. So,
What is the lore behind that?
yeah, what's Pac-Man's lore?
all right, guys, welcome to part 2. Pac-Man lore.
I was ready. I knew I was gonna pull you into that one.
Does that little block
that's
of
a-
cheese have lore?
cheese? Oh my
Wheel
god,
of
there's a
cheese?
big.
Yeah,
Listen,
it's a block of cheese.
He's all like
You're
a wheel of
starting a
cheese.
very big open black hole, which I don't think you guys want to sit through.
Well,
so.
then close your mouth.
And then there's those like jellyfish floating around in there, you know.
Yeah. The
All right. So,
jellyfish and
did
the
we
block
talk
of
about
cheese.
Ark, or did we just mention it?
We just mentioned
We just
it.
mentioned it. We
Okay.
didn't talk about it yet.
Go watch Ark, and I don't really know anything about it. Played the game a couple
watch
times.
it.
Go watch it. Know nothing about it.
And then yeah. I will say I do want to put this little teaser out there because I think maybe Marky and I, because I don't know if Colton. I mean, Colton, you can join, but I don't think you're gonna say anything about it. But Marky, I think we should do a D23 speculation teaser and also
Okay.
a Star Wars one celebration teaser.
Okay.
Like
I
we
agree.
can go through. Also for speculations, I'm also going to tease that Colton and I will probably be doing a Halloween Horror Nights house speculation. So
I'm down.
keep that open. So we have a couple things that we're planning for you guys to listen to. And then
'Cause we
just
love
real
you.
quick, we love all of you, and we love that you guys listen to us idiots talk about this stuff.
Yes.
And then I just want to point out one last thing that was really, really cool. And Marky and Colton, I sent this to you in our little chat. You guys can go ahead and just pull it up while I'm talking about it. It is the Starfall Racers, which is the roller coaster for Epic Universe, has been seen testing, and a news channel filmed it, which I don't even know how it's allowed. They're allowed to be doing this stuff, but maybe it's just good publicity. This roller coaster is insanely fast and kind of like makes me nervous. Like it looks like it's a little bit more intense than Velocicoaster, and Velocicoaster is very intense. The way it goes over some of these hills at like full speed, it barely slows down. It looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
My question is, what is the lore behind Starfall Racers?
Actually, there is some lore, but we won't get into it.
What have I done?
That's the new callback.
But it looks cool, and I'm excited about this because it means we're gonna get some more ride like test videos. So you never know. Like I know we're already seeing some werewolf roller coaster test videos, but that coaster just isn't as intense as this one.
Yeah, but it's gonna
So
be scary. So
it's just gonna be spooky, and it's a spinning.
yeah,
It's
the
a
werewolf's
spinning
gonna
coaster.
the werewolf gonna jump out and go rah,
And Colton's gonna
Just
be in front seat, being
just like the
excited.
movie.
He's gonna be like, "Oh, so scary."
Yeah. I'm gonna be like, that looks different than the original one did. I don't like that.
Werewolf lore, like it.
Werewolf
Yeah,
park
but
roller coaster
but,
lore.
but what is the werewolf roller coaster's lore? Why is he on a roller coaster?
Why?
That didn't exist back
Why
then.
is there a
Did he
roller
build the
coaster
roller coaster with
in
his paws?
Transylvania?
The werewolf isn't in Transylvania, idiot. Anyway,
Well, Dracula is, and well, I guess Frankenstein is the main theme, right? Is that the main thing? Because like the whole tower
my
is Frankenstein's
God,
tower.
what are you talking about?
You're giving Colton an aneurysm.
Well, and then you have like the other things, right? You have like the,
Yeah.
The other things.
you have. Kidding.
I
Sorry,
personally
Marky's only seen
I-
Hotel Transylvania.
I personally hope they make an entire theme park dedicated to the sequels. I'd love to see an entire world dedicated to the best.
They
best
did.
Jedi
It's
ever.
called
They did
Galaxy's
actually.
Edge.
It's called Galaxy's Edge at Disney's Hollywood Studios and Disneyland.
Wow.
I hope there's a whole section dedicated only to the greatest Jedi ever, Rey Skywalker.
Yeah,
They did.
It's
it's
in the
called
right
Galaxy's Edge.
They did. It's called Galaxy's Edge.
Oh
No.
God.
Simply not true.
Oh gosh. So
Oh.
anyway, I thought it was my bad. I actually did think it was like supposed to be like a like Transylvania, like
It is.
Dracula.
It
and-
is.
Okay,
The
so
whole,
okay.
It's the whole. We talked about this, Mark.
It's
You
about
I know
all of
that's.
them.
I was like,
You should
I
go
thought
back
it
and
was.
listen to
But-
our podcast.
But the werewolf is not in Transylvania.
It does take place kind of in Transylvania. That's what the theme land is about, and all the monsters are there. But
That's what I said.
You're right and you're wrong.
Aha,
you're right.
I'm
You're
right.
right and you're
No.
wrong.
I'm right.
No,
I was
you're
saying
simply
there's no.
just
How is there roller coasters in Transylvania? That's what I said.
wrong. You're just wrong.
Oh.
So I think we covered everything: Starfall Racers, Fortnite, Sims, Guitar, Star
also,
Wars, Park.
Another Furiosa trailer came out and it was great. That's all. I'm
Oh
excited
yes,
for that.
yes,
Anyway.
yes. Furiosa, Mad Max, fire, love it. Anyway. Fury
Yeah.
Road,
So
great.
anything else that comes out, we recorded this and we just haven't seen it yet, like the Penguin trailer. So we'll catch you guys up on the next episode. We thank you so much for listening and listen to us call it on all these awesome, amazing things that are coming out. It was a crazy week, and we were on a little bit of a hiatus, and when all this stuff came out, I knew it was the perfect time for us to come back. So, leave a rating on your podcast platform, or give us a thumbs up and subscribe on YouTube, and follow us on the social media. And by the time this podcast comes out, we'll have a Patreon, so give us a follow on there. We have some podcasts that weren't able to be posted, or some like ideas and stuff like that are on there, and you can see them and listen to them before anybody else. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Colton, Marky, it's been great. It's been fun. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
See ya.